I think that the theme is incredibly important to us of the forum because we know science, technology, and innovation are global enterprises. And we're also trying to use science, technology, and innovation much more now to address some of the big global challenges that we're facing, all related to the Sustainable Development Goals to create a more equal and just society. And we need to bring together representatives from the scientific community, the innovation community, more broadly from around the world, to help us identify good paths forward. Main messages that we brought out in our session were the central role that science, technology, and innovation play in supporting and sustaining the Sustainable Development Goals themselves. And what we need to do is bring consistency to some of the messaging from the scientific community, but increasingly we also need to be able to sharpen some of the tools that we use in science and tech policy to ensure that we're moving it and directing it into areas that will contribute to improving our environmental quality, to improving a human-based approach to artificial intelligence, to quantum computing, other new technologies that are coming at us. And we need to ensure that we're coordinating and much more engaged. So we need the science ministries in governments, we need the scientific community, more engaged, one, in a multi-stakeholder way. So the research community working with industry, working with local governments and civil society to have a more consensual approach to how we advance science, technology, and innovation. We also need what we consider sort of horizontal coordination. It's science ministries working with the economics ministries, the finance ministries, the other regulatory ministries in governments to assure that all policies are aligned in a consistent way. So as we move science and technology forward, we have a system that's capable of adapting it and the right incentives in place to help firms, to help governments adopt technologies in new ways that will achieve the SDGs.
And identifies policy orientation.
We launched just in the last year both a new so-called agenda for transformative science, technology, and innovation that lays out 10 key themes about these forms of engagement: multi-stakeholder engagement, cross-country engagement, and engagement internationally. We're now starting to develop more policy guidance and toolkits to put that into practice now. We're also working on the framework for emerging technologies and governance thereof. We've laid out, again, 5 key approaches about inclusivity and adaptability and strategic foresight. We're starting to put in place some of the platforms for doing that. I mentioned something in our session today about a global forum for technology, where we're bringing multi-stakeholder communities to help us see new technologies as they're emerging, quantum technologies, synthetic biology. Can we get a multi-stakeholder understanding of the opportunities and challenges that they pose so that we can take next steps? Part of what that means at OECD is, for example, developing new recommendations and principles that our countries and beyond can agree on about how we advance these technologies. But we're also starting to put in place, let's say, some of the very practical pieces to create a more common framework. A good example of this is in artificial intelligence, where we've had a set of principles in place since 2019 that have now been adopted much more beyond the OECD, and they lay out a broad framework. But we know that that framework is going to be taken up and adopted in different ways in different countries and in different regions. So we've been doing things like coming up with definitions of what an AI system is. We've developed frameworks for classifying different types of AI systems that bring with them different opportunities and benefits. So these become some of the tools that governments can use to adopt and develop their regulatory and their governance environments in ways that will be what we like to call interoperable, so that the regulations that are put in place here in Hungary or within the European Union can be consistent with those that are developed in the Americas and in Southeast Asia and other regions of the world. So we do have a more holistic and coherent approach to governing these important technologies. We need good evidence and we need good indicators. So we have a strong program in developing indications of R&D investments in different fields, the human resources that are being developed. In fact, we just launched something recently that will help us collect more internationally comparable data on the research and innovation careers. We're trying to do that so we can begin to understand how we develop the research cohorts over time, so we can understand the mobility of researchers between countries, between sectors, from government to industry to the research community, and make sure we're putting in the right supports for them to have productive careers and contribute to the SDGs, among other outcomes.